Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. My name is Crown, and today I'm going to read you some very interesting stories that I hope that you're gonna love. And now, without further ado, let's go! So my kid and I are volunteer site hosts for a park service, meaning we live on park property for free in exchange for running the park. The daughter is 14, autistic, and currently the only child in our area of the park service. Most of the people in our group know my kid is disabled in more ways than one and are always so kind to include her in events. Today was the annual holiday party and included a game called Dirty Santa. I'd never played before and debated letting her play at all, but she assured me she could handle it if her gift was stolen. I told her in advance that most gifts would be knives and tools, or gag gifts, and made sure to explain the rules to her beforehand. Everyone gets a number. When it's your turn, you either select a wrapped gift or steal a gift someone else already has. If your gift is stolen, you get another turn so you can steal a different gift, or get a wrapped one from the pile. A gift can only be stolen 3 times, so the third person keeps the gift. So as we begin, I was correct in that gifts were things like pocket knives, drill bits, headlamps, and so on. The one guy opens a virtual reality headset. A couple minutes later, it's my daughter's turn. Before anyone says a word, the guy with the VR headset stands up and hands the kit to my daughter. She was so happy. We all had to remind her it could get taken away, as she was number 17 out of 30. Throughout the game, whenever someone stole something, everyone laughed and talked about it, and generally showed it was all in good fun. That stopped on turn number 19, when this witch walks up and snatches the set out of my kid's hands, without even saying anything. She walked back to her table with a smirk on her face, as the entire room felt completely silent. I don't think it was just because she took the one thing the only disabled kid in a room would actually want, but the way she did it. My kid handled it like a champ. She was obviously crushed, but she just went with it, and I was extremely proud of her. I also knew I was number 21, and Dumb Witch obviously hadn't been paying attention, or she would have known I hadn't gone yet. And the set had been stolen twice already. So, of course, I get the VR back for my kid. Nicely, I might add, but the best is yet to come. Since I took the VR set, number 19 gets a gift from under the tree. For the rest of the game, starting immediately with number 22, everyone steals whatever number 19 has. It was awesome. The last 8 turns was nothing but someone stealing number 19's gifts, her getting another one, having it stolen by the next person. No one said anything. Everyone acted like they just really wanted whatever piece of trash she had. Or talking 20-something men taking women's shower gel kits. It was great, but number 19 did get to keep the last gift. She now has a small bottle of pooperay spray to cover the scent of her bad behavior. Edit. Just so you know, we don't take this lightly. We live our lives in service to others as much as possible, giving in time what we can't in money. In addition to volunteering for the park service, we volunteer at a local food bank every week and participate in service local seasonal events. I share this not to validate or justify the kindness we are receiving, but as a testament to how wonderful life can be when one lives a life of thankfulness with a belief of what comes around goes around. I live in an older apartment complex but don't mind because it has security and nice amenities. Most folks own their own units, but some rent them out, and I got a great deal for renting during the pandemic. Even though it's older, the average unit sells for over $1 million due to the current house market. So it's a lot for older folks who bought when it's cheap, no money, and middle-class renters. It can be a hassle getting up to my apartment from the street since it's 2 elevator rides, street to security and security to apartment when it's super busy though. Right now only one household at a time can be in the elevators since they aren't big enough for social distancing, which can take even more time. Management also modified the elevators so that they don't stop if someone is already in them, to avoid people trying to hop in while you are going to your floor. So now it doesn't really matter if you press the up or down button, all it does is call an elevator and you can go wherever. This was sent in an email to everyone in the complex. I'm heading back to my place after walking my dog with my headphones on. A purchase I saved up a long time for and use daily, including for work. We get to the first set of elevators and there is an older couple and a middle-aged lady waiting. She's a typical wasp for the building. Pearls/diamond earrings/big wedding ring/fancy clothes. Probably has a husband that's a senior design engineer or something while she's a marketing manager. I see that only the up button is pressed, so I push the down button to call another elevator and return to my spot in line. I know that once their elevator leaves, I can press the up button again and save everyone some time, as now 2 more post-dog walk folks are behind me. The older couple leave in their elevator and then the second one comes. My glasses are quite foggy at this point, but I see this lady waving for me to take it. So, I pull off my headphones. I tell her, "You were here first, no worries. I'll catch the next one. It's going down for you." "Oh, I was just calling another elevator." "Don't you see the line? Get in the elevator." Oh, she's being rude. She doesn't know how the elevators work now. Even though it's been a year, I decide it's not my problem to explain why she's wrong. Put on my headphones and get in, then punch floor 1 to get to the security desk. While the doors are closing, she must have then pressed the up button as they open back up. I press the door close button and hear a loud "What?" over my music. She then sprints into the elevator and sees that I am going up. "Oh, so that's it. You couldn't wait, so you lied. You skipped me. This is my elevator. Get out." While holding her hand over the door sensor so they don't close, I pause the music on my headphones and say, "I said I would catch the next one, but you insisted." She must have thought I was turning my music up and taking a stance on this elevator miscommunication, because she then starts grabbing my headphone and smacking me right across the face. "Take those off. This is my elevator, you liar. Screw you. Get out of my elevator." My 40-pound cattle dog is deaf, but he isn't stupid. He started barking and growling in full force, causing the lady to jump back with my headphones in her hands. I'm dragging him out of the elevator when she then runs forward and kicks him square in the stomach. She throws my headphones to the ground, stomps on them, and kicks them out of the elevator. And then she takes her ride up. I am freaking out. The other people who were waiting in line are freaking out. All for a freaking elevator. Thankfully, after 20 minutes, my dog gets up and is fine but skittish. One of the folks in line must have told security what happened because one of the guards came down to talk to me. Police have been called, all security cams are being pulled, and the lady has been identified and I was asked to wait upstairs. I give my statements and we ride up together to security. She is there along with her husband and the 2 folks who were behind me. Yep, he's definitely some sort of upper management techie with his button up tucked into his dark blue jeans. I ask if I can put my dog in my apartment and I do so, then return. The husband asks me how much the headphones were, and I say $400. I use the coupon code, and he hands me the money from his wallet. I quickly take it and put it in my pocket. The lady is looking smug. I guess this isn't the first time money has solved the situation she got in. But did she forget she didn't just break my headphones? The police ask if I want to press charges, and I say yes. And she starts yelling at me. Her husband is holding her and trying to drag her away from the police and me, while she throws insults and swear words one after another. When she starts yelling that she hopes she hurts my dog and how she's going to kill him, the police use their taser and take her down to the patrol with her husband following behind. From what I understand, she's being charged with assault, animal cruelty, assault on a police officer, resisting arrest, and lastly, public intoxication. All this for a miscommunication and saving 3 minutes waiting for a freaking elevator. So I was driving to HEP, which is a big-name grocery store in my state, when this BMW came flying off the highway and cut into my lane, almost hitting the front of my truck. Out of instinct, I hit my brakes and swerved out of the way, only to have them switch back to their original lane. We pull up to a light and are both turning left as both lanes are turn lanes. And as we turn, they come back into my lane, cutting me off and almost hitting me for a second time. Well, come to find out they were also heading to HEP. Now the reverse of my truck is going out, so I park in the far back of the lot so that I can pull forward out of my spot instead of reversing and start walking to the entrance. Just as I'm about to walk by the BMW, the jerk driving cones jumping out and speed walks to the store. But in doing so, again cuts me off, but on foot this time. I noticed the guy was wearing a vendor shirt and carrying a tablet. We both make our way inside and I'm grumbling to myself about rude people. I start to head down the frozen pizza aisle when I see Mr. Jerk set his tablet down on top of the freezers and walk off. I circle the aisle 3 times and then just stop in front of the spot where he left his tablet. I stood there for a good 5 minutes and he still hasn't returned. So, I reach up, grab the tablet, and then hand it off to a nearby employee who says that someone left it in the aisle. I watch as the employee takes it up to the front of the store. About that time, Mr. Jerk comes back and starts to freak out about the tablet, and I just walk away. No, I did not steal it, and I'm sure he eventually got it back, and yes, it was petty as hell, but so was cutting me off 3 times for no damn reason. A good friend of mine has about 4 years ago inherited the house of his grandparents. He decided to live there for the time being till he has decided what to do with the house. He grew up in it, so he did not really want to sell it. Not even a week after he moved in, he got a visit from a neighborhood committee. They said they are the 3 board members of the Homeowners Association and are here so he can sign his membership papers. They were extremely nosy and rude. For example, one tried to get into the garage without so much as asking. When he stopped him and asked him where he wanted to go, he had the audacity to say, "I need to check your garage. If everything there is in order, I have a right to do this bi-weekly, and denying me access is an offense that will cost a fine." He then had enough of their audacity and kicked them all out of the house. While doing so, one of the board members shoved some papers into his face and told him he needed to sign this right now. He would live there a week already, and these papers had to be signed before moving in. Once they were gone, he took a look at the papers, and they were ridiculous, and gave the Homeowners Association rights that were simply real. They had, for example, a right to visit your home bi-weekly, and check things like that you do not use a garage for storage, do not have gasoline in containers in your garage, and same goes for gas. You had to mow your lawn every week. Snow had to be shoveled every 2 hours when it snowed, starting at 5 o'clock in the morning. You could not park more than 1 car on your grounds, except inside the garage, and a ton of other nonsense. A few days later, they came back and asked him why he did not sign the papers yet. They also wanted to check the garage again, and this time he would not even let them in, and told him he would never become a member of their stupid club. To them, that meant war. Within a week, they had sent him fines north of $1,000. Some of them were for denying them access to his home, each worth $250. My friend simply did not take them serious and used their stupid letters to help fire his grill. Then came the day where they went extremely too far. He came back, one of the board members had broken into his garage, stood in it, and was writing things down on his notepad. But that was not even the worst part. He had 2 wonderful oak trees in the front of the house. They had been planted by his great-grandparents when they were newlyweds and moved into the house. The Homeowners Association was in the process of taking them down. They had called a professional crew for this. One was already so damaged. Basically, all twigs were already down. It was just a stump that was left. The other one they had just started with. He lost it. He told the tree crew to stop right now and explain to them that he was the owner, and what they did was highly illegal. They had no idea, since the board member claimed that these trees were in violation of the rules, since supposedly too many leaves went to the neighbor's garden. He had told him that there was no legal reason to put them down, but the board member claimed I had given my okay, because the trees were in violation of the rules of the homeowners association. He looked it up later, and they actually had a bylaw that if a garden produces more than one 40-liter sack of leaves within 2 weeks, the garden owner needs to take down the offending trees within 2 weeks. He told him he would overlook them trespassing if they would be witnesses in court for him. Then he called the cops on the board members for trespassing, breaking and entering. They actually had used a bolt cutter to get into the garage, and he had it always closed with a big bike lock after they had tried to get in twice before. The trial must have been glorious. Not only did they have to repay him for the lock and the tree, which was worth a ton of money, north of $50,000 if I remember right, plus damages for the second tree. He had a professional tree person look after it, so all the damage healed properly, which alone cost nearly $1,000. But these idiots actually thought the trial would have been unfair, and they tried to fight it, which probably cost them an additional $10,000 to $15,000 in lawyers and court costs. All in all, this trial must have cost him over $120,000. Then he went to civil court and sued them for emotional damage. He told them how much these trees meant to him, since his great-grandparents had planted them with seeds from the home country. He really laid it on as thick as he could. Plus, he felt threatened by the homeowners association and can hardly sleep because he always fears they tried to get into his house. The court actually bought it and gave him $500,000 plus the cost for a state-of-the-art alarm system, so he can feel safe again in his own home. So put all together, he cost the homeowners association nearly $750,000. They had to file for bankruptcy and get a person to check the books, so my friend will get his money. The best is for last. The mediator found out that these three pricks had been defrauding the homeowners association for well over 10 years and were giving out as many fines as they possibly could so they could use it to bolster their income. All three had to sell their houses so they could pay out my friend. Now he is, for most people, one of the favorite people living there, and he constantly gets invited over for grilling and whatnot. You see, most people never wanted the homeowners association in the first place, but the board member practically forced them to sign the contract, claiming it would not be optional, and if they did not sign before moving in, it would be a $500 fine. Only 6 of the over 50 members actually wanted this homeowners association, and people think that they did get part of the action as a reward for spying out their neighbors to find violations. And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.